Hello YouTube and welcome back to the latest PIDA Kanto Weekly show. We're back with season number 2, week number 2, and we are here, we're back again once again because you guys seem to love the PIDA Kanto Weekly shows. They're like the most popular series on the channel as of right now, so we're going to keep smashing through them, and if any improvements to the series, because obviously it's going to be a staple on the channel for a while, let me know in the comment section below and we'll get on that. But before we begin analysing all 5 games we have in today's video, we have some trades to talk about because there's been a lot of trades, as you can see by the document behind me, all around me, because we've not had 1, we've not had 2, we've not had 3, we've not had 4, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades. Active week 2, we've had 8 different trades. So it's going to be very interesting to say the least. But first up, we have the Hungry Big Boys, coached by PIDA, have traded their Mega Gallade for Tornadus Incarnate. So obviously got rid of Mega Gallade. Tornadus Incarnate's a good mon, so see if that pans out when he brings that to his first game in this video, if he does bring it, that is. We've also got the Honolulu who have traded Garbodor for Honchkrow. Obviously, because if you missed it on the power rankings that went up, everyone's weak to Ghost in Kanto, so pick up a Honchkrow. It's a good shout. Your boy Honchkrow, Fedora, is going to put in the work, hopefully, for the Honolulu Holuchas. And next up, we've got the Grand Prairie Greninjas, who used 3 trades. Traded Kyogre for Victini with the Black Sea Kyurms in Tier 1. Now, this is an interesting trade because Kyogre's a proper Uber, and Victini is not an Uber, but it's just because it did so well in Tier 1 last season, it is an Uber. But, in my opinion, I prefer Kyogre over Victini, but it's got Z Celebrate, it can do a lot of things, so I can see the plus side of that. But the other trade he made with the Black Sea Kyurem was trading Snorlax for his Manaphy, so he's still got the water type in that trade with the Manaphy placing Kyogre, and he's lost his bulky Snorlax, but he's now got, I don't know how bulky his team is right now, I can't remember all the teams off the top of my head, but I should do. But Snorlax is now a part of the Black Sea Kyurems. Hopefully the former champion last season can use the Kyogre and Snorlax really well, and helping him pick up some more W's in week number 2. And the other trade the Grand Prairie Greninjas did make was dropping Espeon for Cobalion. So he dropped his Psychic type, picked up a Psychic type in Espeon. He dropped his Espeon to pick up Victini, and he's dropped his Espeon, so now it's a Cobalion. So Cobalion's kind of bulky, and being fighting Steel type, it can help him. It's a good typing in my opinion. So, and Cobalion's a good mon, so hopefully the Grand Prairie Greninjas can use the benefit of that and progress on and try and stay wherever they want their target is for this season. And the last team were the Cleveland Cavaliers, who used all 3 of their free agent trades to trade Necrozma Dawn Wings for Darkrai. Darkrai's a good mon, even though Dark Void's been nerfed because it's only 50% actually, but Darkrai's still a good mon. So not in Nuzlocke because its level up moveset is atrocious, but the use of TMs and stuff, it's kind of good. So it's always a win-win there. He dropped Roserade for Chestnut. Now, I like Roserade. Roserade's good in League because it's got Technician Hidden Power, and it's a monster, and it's quite special defensive bulky. It's got good special attack stat. It's got Toxic Spikes. It gets spikes. It gets a lot of things. But Chestnut is good as well. But in my opinion, I prefer the Roserade. So you have to prove me wrong and say prove to me that Chestnut is better than Roserade. You just have to do it. And the last trade was dropping my boy Seismitoad for Cofagrigus, who's my other boy. So I'm not mad about that. But getting rid of that Seismitoad, unless it's in rain, I don't really. There's a lot of better options for Seismitoad. Not in a rain team. I know I had it last season. Did I have it last season? I think I did have it last season. Yeah, I did have it last season. But I barely brought it because I only brought it for rocks. But Cofagrigus is good as well because it gets Toxic Spikes. It gets it's really bulky. It gets Mummy obviously, so it can shut down any ability shenanigans with his physical type attackers. And so not, it gets Will-O-Wisp. But I like using Cofagrigus as well. So all those trades, majority I do agree with. I do agree with all those trades. So fingers crossed we can see if any of these new trades come into clutch in these week 2 games. Now, the first game we have up is the Sinnoh Starlets, coached by Sean, versus the Cleveland Escavalier, coached by your boy Slick. And he has only brought 1 of his new trades in the Cofagrigus. So the Sinnoh Starlets have brought Rabombi, Mewtwo, Azumarill, Blaziken, Scizor, and Terrakion, whereas the Cleveland Cavaliers have brought Lucario, Mega Lucario, Rodriguez, Florges, Alola Muck, Jirachi, and Mamoswine. So, obviously, Sinnoh starts have got Webs Rabombi, they've got Speed Boost in Blaziken, they've got Mewtwo, which can hit like a truck, it's got Belly Drum Azumarill potentially, it's got Scizor, which is always a good mon. I know Sean loves to use Scizor, so it's going to put in the work for sure. And it's got Terrakion, which if that boy is scarfed, he can just click Earthquake. And this team is gone, because Lucario is weak to Earthquake, Muck is weak to Earthquake, Jirachi is weak to Earthquake. I think, is Mamoswine weak to Earthquake or is it neutral? I think it's neutral. Yeah, he doesn't have a ground type switching, let's be honest. He doesn't have a ground type switching. So, that Terrakion, if it's Scarf Earthquake, can potentially put in the work against his team. So, and like, the opposing side, he's got bulk. He's got a good bulky core in defensive Rodriguez and special defensive Florges. He's got Muck, which can be defensive. He's got Jirachi, which can also be defensive. He's got Mamoswine, who can just choice band Icicle Crash, choice band Earthquake, and put in the work against the team. And he's got Mega Lucario, when Mega Lucario is just broken. It's a good mon. It's an Ubered for a reason. So, let's jump into this game and see how it pans out. So, Sean leads with his Azumarill versus the Rodriguez. He goes for knockoff, gets rid of its thick fat. Why is it thick fat? He goes for Shadow Ball, does 16% to this thing. And as you can see, he put the wrong ability on his Azumarill, which could cost him later down the line. It's not friggin' huge power. It's Power Whip. Power Whip? What am I on about? Thick fat. Okay, so Shaw goes for Quiver Dance, goes straight into his Blaziken. As the Mega Lucario goes for Bullet Punch, which would have blown that Rabombi back. So he goes for Close Combat, outspeeding the Mega Blaziken, and down goes the Mega Blaziken. Out comes Terrakion versus the Rodriguez, who goes for Close Combat, putting the switch in, does nothing to the Rodriguez. Out comes Rabombi, predicting a Shadow Ball, I'd take it. Does 45%, because Rodriguez doesn't play around. So there goes the Sticky Webs, as Rabombi stays about, goes for Bug Buzz, just to sack this thing off. To get free switching into more than likely Scizor, which can go for a Night Slash, or it goes for Swords Dance, okay, as it goes for Memento, good, yep. Shutting down that Scizor as you go to Mega Lucario, even at -1 speed can actually put it to work. Outspeeds the Scizor, goes for Close Combat, lives on just around 10, as it U-turns out, into Terrakion, which will outspeed it and just spam the Earthquake button. But he goes out into his Florges, Aquarius, he goes for Close Combat, does 30% to the Florges, there's a defense drops on that. And goes out into his Mewtwo, predicting his Fairy type move, which I would imagine is coming. Or it just goes for straight up default, get those Sticky Webs away. Go down to Muck, because it can't Psychic it. Go to Miracle Eye. Ooh. 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 Good. This is a thing you'd only see in PIDA. He's brought Miracle Eye Mewtwo, so he can... predicting the Muck to switch in, so he can go Side Strike and blow his Muck back. But Muck lives the hit because it's a frickin' Muck. So it goes for knockoff. Knocks off the Mewtwo's leftovers. As he switches out into his Florges, he can have a Side Strike. As it does go for, does 66% to this Florges. Because Mewtwo's hit like a monster. As he goes for Protect, he goes for Side Strike again, stalling out his Side Strikes. Potentially, as he just goes straight out into his Muck. He can have a Side Strike. Because that's probably... Mewtwo goes for Fire Blast. I did not know Mewtwo got Fire Blast, but again, it's Mewtwo. It gets a lot of good moves. So out comes Lucario as he goes out into his Scizor. Bullet Punch lives on 3%. Goes Bullet Punch again, knocks out the Scizor. Out comes Terrakion as he goes out into his Florges. Finally going to click Earth Close Combat, knocks out the Aquarius, and Terrakion is going to put in a lot of work for Sean if he keeps it about. But goes for Bullet Punch, lives on 1%, but kills the Mega Lucario in return. So that's very good, because Mega Lucario could potentially put in the work against the rest of his team. Out comes the Jirachi. It just goes for Close Combat to sack this thing off. Lives on 45%, so he goes for Drain Punch. Goes back up to 46% health. Out comes the Mewtwo versus the team. Out comes the Mamoswine as he goes for Fire Blast. Does 53% to his Mamoswine. Probably going to kill with an Ice Shard. Oh, it lives on 2%! My god! As he goes for Side Strike. Down goes the Mamoswine. Out comes Jirachi, and I think Jirachi just cleans up the game. As Mewtwo misses his Fire Blast, which would have won Sean the game, but he goes for his Z Happy Hour, getting +1, +1, +1, +1, +1 on his stats. So he goes for Drain Punch. And that's very unfortunate, because that would have won, should have started the game. That would have won it in the game. But he goes for Iron Head, gets the flinch, I do believe. Yes, he does, because Jirachi. And he goes for Aqua Jet to 7%, because it's not freaking huge power. But down goes the Azumarill, and that was very, very close game. So... You new Johto boys are putting in the work so far this season. They're putting in the actual finds of work, because obviously, so the starts are now on 0-2 right now, which is them finishing in the top 4 last season, they had to put some grind out to get back into those green spots for this season. So yeah, that Fire Blast miss was very, very crucial in that game. If he landed it, then Sean probably would have won the game 2-0. So there's still a long week to go. There's like 9 weeks left. There's still a chance for both these teams to, or Sinistar. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are 2-0 right now. I think they're near the top of the table. So they need to keep they can keep up their win streak right now, and then the Sinnoh Starlets need to bounce back next week. Hopefully, pick up one of these, and can make progress and try and stay away from that red and orange zone towards the end of the season. Now, move on to our second game, where we have the Boston Typhlosions, coached by David, versus the Honolulu Holochus, coached by Kyle, I think. Yes, that's correct. So David and the Boston Typhlosions have brought Slowbro, Mega Gengar, Tyranitar, Togekiss, Infernape, and Zekrom, whereas the Honolulu Holochus have brought Mega Medicham, Aegislash, Rotom-Wash, Alakazam, Reshiram, and Gliscor. So battle of the Gen 5 box art legendaries. Mega Medicham was obviously MVP last season. It can put in work against the Tyranitar, the Infernape, the Gengar. So is potential good bring by the Honolulu Holochus there. Aegislash can also put in the work, barring the Infernape with Steel and Ghost typing. Rotom-Wash is always a praying. Alakazam hits like a truck. Reshiram and Zekrom. Once again, I'm not familiar myself with Ubers right now, so I don't really know what they do. But as the weeks progress, I should know more about what these Ubers do. And he's obviously got Gliscor, which is very bulky boy and can put in the work. Obviously, got Slowbro on the other side of the field, which can be bulky. He's got Tyranitar, which can be bulky. He's got Mega Gengar, which could just trap something in and just go Shadow Ball and kill it. We've got Togekiss with Scarf Flinch Hacks or something like that. We've got Infernape, which can be run mixed, so you don't know what's going to happen with it. And you've got Zekrom, which is probably going to just go, haha, I'm just going to Dragon Claw everything, because you don't, besides the Aegislash, you don't really have a switch into a Dragon type stab move. So, out comes the Zekrom versus the Mega Medicham. Turn 1. You go straight into a Slowbro, predicting probably a fighting type move. As he goes for Fake Out, does 15% to the Slowbro. Reading the Slowbro's Rocky Helmet. Out comes the Rotom, predicting the Scald. Does nothing to the Rotom, but does burn it, which negates his leftover, so it's something, I guess. Out comes the Zekrom. As it goes for the Toxic. Poisons the Zekrom, which is quite a good play there by the... trying to get out Toxic Storm. So go to Protect to try and Toxic Sword the Zekrom as it reveals the Volt Switch. So he's going to try and Volt Switch out. He's probably going to switch into Gliscor right now, I would imagine. Yes, he does. As he goes for Hidden Power Ice and does 57% to his Gliscor. Which is very, very nice indeed. There's the Toxic Kill coming. Out comes Rotom-Wash. As he goes for Hidden Power Ice again, which does 7% to this Rotom-Wash. There's the poison stack up in his Zekrom right now, so David really needs to switch this thing out, but he doesn't. He goes for Roost to get back up to full health again before the toxic damage is starting to stack up on this Zekrom right now. As he Volt switches out to 24% to Rotom. Out comes the Tyranitar, predicting him not to go for a water type move, but he goes for the Volt switch, probably going to go out into Mega Medicham, which he does. Predicting probably a fighting type move will go out to Gengar or Slowbro. That works as well. So he goes for Zen Headbutt. Just in case he did go for Zen Headbutt, he'd go into Slowbro because this thing just walls Mega Medicham for days. Out comes Zekrom again. As it goes for the Thunder Punch, does nothing to Zekrom because Zekrom's a bulky boy apparently. Or it's resisted as well, but Mega Medicham. It goes for the Drain Punch. Does 38% to Zekrom as it goes for Roost. Back up to pretty much 50% health with the toxic damage. Stacking up, yep, 57%. Out comes Rotom-Wash, predicting I don't know, but out comes Slowbro. Slowbro is here. As it goes out into Zekrom, predicting a electric type move. So he goes for Pain Split, which is pretty much nothing because they're both on the same amount of health anyway. The toxic damage is racking up on his frickin' Zekrom. Out comes the Infernape as it goes for the Volt Switch. Straight into probably Reshiram right now. Yep, there's the Reshiram. Don't know what Infernape can do to Reshiram, but he's going to switch out into Tyranitar, taking a... that was unfortunate. That Draco miss was very unfortunate because I don't know if it would have killed Tyranitar because Tyranitar's a bulky boy, but would have at least done at least 40-50%, so that's very unfortunate. As he goes for the Focus Miss, does not matter, but it does matter because if that Draco Meteor did land, this Tyranitar would be dead, and this Reshiram would not be on freaking 19%, it'd be on around It just went to go to Pursuit Trap because it's on low health. Tried to think it switch out. But goes for the Roost again as it just goes for straight up Earthquake. Reshiram lives on 28%. He goes for the Draco this time. Knocks out the Tyranitar. Lives on about 11%. And Sandstorm goes there. Out comes the Togekiss as it goes for Nasty Plot. As it goes for Roost again. So this Togekiss is going to actually put in the work right now. So he goes for Air Slash. Gets the flinch because it's a Togekiss. Is what it does. Out comes Rotom resisting the Air Slash. So does 24% to a Rotom Wash even at +2. So that's amazing. So he goes to the Air Slash again. If you get a flinch, he gets the flinch. Rotom gets the flinch. And it goes flinch again. Down goes Rotom Wash and Togekiss is picking up these kills. It's picking up these kills. Out comes the Age Slash as it bam passes out into Infernape. The +2 special attack as it goes for Iron Head. It lives on 2%, and if Age Slash has quick attack, ooh, it goes for Encore. It goes for Encore. Interesting. Interesting. This is a Boston Typhlosion set. Why am I not surprised? Why do you have Encore? So Age Slash now Encored into Iron Head as he goes out into Gengar, so you can't Ghost type move it. So he just goes for Shadow Ball because he can't Shadow Sneak it. Down goes the Age Slash. As out comes Alakazam, which can outspeed it and go for a Psychic Move. So it goes out into Zekrom as it goes for Psy Shock. Does a solid 29%. So Zekrom's clearly a bulky boy. Gets a crit. Crit did not matter because last one did 29%. Out comes the Slowbro. And out comes the Reshiram, predicting probably Scald or Thunder Wave, slowing this Reshiram down. Out comes the Togekiss as he gets fully paralyzed, probably predicting a Draco. Gets a crit on the Air Slash, probably didn't matter. So down goes the Reshiram. Out comes Mega Medicham. Out comes Slowbro, predicting the Fake Out. Rocky Helmet stacking up on this Mega Medicham. He goes for Thunder Punch. Does 55% as it goes for Trick Room. And there's a Slack Off, and now Slowbro can just stall out this thing with Rocky Helmet. I'll just go for Scald and knock this thing out. Or do that. Out comes the Gliscor as it goes for Scald again. Knocks out the Gliscor. That's 2 kills now for Slowbro, I do believe. Out comes Alakazam as it goes for Thunder Wave to slow it down. Last turn of Trick Room. Just very, very good play by the Boston Typhlosions there. So Alakazam picks up the kill and then goes out to make Gengar, which will definitely outspeed because of the paralysis, but he goes for Substitute just to make sure he's not Focus Sash or anything. So GG to the Boston Typhlosions there, picking up a 2-0 victory there. Good brings by David and the Boston Typhlosions there, especially the Trick Room Slowbro to make sure Mega Gengar can kill the Alakazam late game. And Slowbro picked up a few kills in that game as well, so that's definitely MVP for me in that game. So I think Holy Luchas are 1-1 right now, or I think I'll take table it after all these games, but I think Boston Typhlosions are going to be up there at the end of the season just because they're interesting sets and whatnot. So shout out to you. But we move on to our third game where we have the Fists of the North Sparse coached by Jack versus the Greninja Grand Prairie Greninja coached by Greninja in this game. And the Grand Prairie Greninjas are using just the Victini as one of their new trades, and hopefully it can put the work against this team. I don't see... Be honestly, Victini only beats the Tapu Bulu and the Klefki, so it's not going to be as good as panned out. If the Kyogre was here, the only problem it would have would be the Tapu Bulu, and probably the Vaporeon, but as for me, so he's got Deoxys attack, Zygarde 50%, Metagross. Is that Mega Metagross or normal Metagross? We'll find out in the battle, won't we? He's got Slowbro. Obviously, he's got Mega Slowbro. We've got Victini, and he's got Hawlucha. So if he's Grassy Seed Hawlucha, shout out to you. I hope to God you're Grassy Seed Hawlucha. But Marshall is a big threat. Mega Mewtwo X is a big threat. Heatran can be bulky Stealth Rock threat. Tapu Bulu will make this battle last for 7 years. He's got Wish support on Vaporeon, and he's got annoying ass Klefki. So it's going to be a very interesting game. So let's jump in and see how this one turns out. So out comes the Mega Mewtwo X versus the Metagross. As the Mega Mewtwo X Mega Evolves, it goes into Mega Metagross as it goes for the Flamethrower, and does 83% to the Mega Metagross. Gets the burn, which is very unfortunate, because that Meteor Mash probably would have done obviously a lot more damage. But it just goes for the Shadow Ball right now. Knocks out the Mega Metagross, and Mega Metagross is down turn 2. And that's probably his biggest threat on the team. Gone. Just like that. And also, why would you keep a Mega Metagross on a freaking Mewtwo X? Why? I would have went down to Slowbro. don't know, because Slowbro is less of an importance to me on this team rather than Mega Metagross. Because Mega can sweep late game once the Mars Shadow and the Heatran are gone. So I would have kept that alive. I really would have kept that alive. But that's just me. So out comes Deoxys attack. As you go down to Klefki, knowing it outspeeds, and just goes for Shadow Ball. Does 5 gets a crit and does 59% to the Klefki. As you go down to Zygarde, putting a Thunder Wave, I would imagine. Just goes for still switcheroo. So Zygarde now hiding an Iron Ball, and Klefki now holding Leftovers. There's a Grassy Surge. And out comes the Victini. Very good switch out by the Greninja right there. As it goes Wood Hammer, does solid 43% to the Victini. As it goes for Z Celebrate, which gets all the +1, +1. So the Victini is going to be quite a problem right now as it goes for the Flare Blitz. Now, I'm wondering why it went for Flare Blitz and not V-Create. Because it drops your... What does it drop? Your speed and your special defenses, doesn't it? Both defenses. But it doesn't get recall. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't want that dropped, but Flare Blitz is here. Out comes the Heatran as it goes for Brick Break. Heatran lives because it's a bulky boy. Out comes the Stealth Rocks on the Heatran. As it goes for Brick Break again, down goes the Heatran. Heatran's probably just here for Rock, so that's why just shut down the Hawlucha and whatnot. So out comes the Klefki as it goes for the Thunder Wave. It gets the full power on the Victini, which is what Klefki does. That's what Klefki does. It goes for the Flare Blitz, knocks out the Klefki. Now there's double hazards up on the side for the Greninja, Grand Prairie Greninja. Out comes the Kenshiro, probably completing a Shadow Sneak. Or the Spectral Thief, I should imagine, to sneak all those stats, but it's hit Citrus Berry Hawlucha, so I'm very disappointed it wasn't Grass Terrain, but Acrobatics does nothing to Vaporeon because Vaporeon's a bulky boy. So he goes for Swords Dance, there's the Scald, gets a crit, knocks out the Hawlucha, and that Vaporeon's getting kills. Look at that. Out comes Deoxys attack. So he goes for the Psycho Boost. Vaporeon has a 1%. Vaporeon's is a monster and knocks out the freaking Deoxys attack, and Vaporeon's picked up 2 kills. And out comes the Slowbro, which, as it goes for the Z Celebrate, I would imagine. Yes, it does. Predicting him to... I don't know what he's going to predict. Psychic? I don't... It's a 1%. Why do you go for Z Celebrate? Just in case... Maybe he thought he'd switch out? Or just go for... a slack off or something? I don't know why he'd slack off, because he's at 76%. Maybe we're predicting... I don't know. Did you just press it because... It just in case he didn't, because you know you're going to die anyway? I'm not sure, but... I don't know. But out comes Victini. Probably going to sack this thing off as he goes for the Shadow Ball. Knocks out the Victini. Out comes the Zygarde. He's probably going to go for... I don't know, but there's the Ice Beam from the Mega Mewtwo and down goes Zygarde. And that is game. That is game, people. That is game, because Mega Mewtwo just kicks Shadow Ball and knock it Slowbro out. And that is GG. And Mega Mewtwo is MVP in this game because Mega Mewtwo is a freaking monster. It got 4 kills, I do believe, against the Metagross, the Slowbro, the Zygarde, and I think the Hawlucha as well. So GG to the Fist of North Sparta. I think their 2 are undefeated so far this season, so they picked up the juicy W there. I still don't understand why he sacked off his Mega Metagross off so early. I don't know why he did that, but even if he wasn't burnt, Meteor Mash wouldn't have killed this thing. I mean, it wouldn't have killed, because it did 50%? Did it do 50%? Turn 1, it did 42%. If it wasn't burnt, it'd probably do 60, 70%? Unless you got the +1 and had Bullet Punch. That's a lot of ifs. That's a lot of ifs. They would have stayed in after the Flamethrower. So I would have kept Mega Metagross alive. But that's just me. That's my personal opinion. But this is what I'm here for. I'm here to critique. But I wouldn't have let Mega Metagross go down like that. I would not have done, because that's a good mon. It's a very good win con for the late game. So GG to both teams there. Hopefully next week they can continue on this progress, and the Fist of North Sparks can keep pushing on the top of the table, and the Greninja, Grand Prairie Ninjas could try and bounce back next week and try and avoid the orange/red zones in Kanto this season. Now we move on to our penultimate game, where we have the Wednesday Hoos coached by Starving Pig versus the Hungry Big Boys coached by Bidoof, and the Wednesday Hoos are rocking Lele, Celesteela, Mega Kanga, Greninja, Dialga and Alola Whack, whereas the hungry big boys are rocking Mega Mewtwo X, Whimsicott, Hooper Unbound, Chansey, Zygarde 100%, and Yveltal. So, quite the scary ones on both sides of the team. Tapu Lele, besides the Chansey and the... Mainly the Chansey. Because Moonblast is going to do... Ooh. Because Mega Mewtwo X is weak to Moonblast. Whimsicott isn't that bulky, so it's going to die to any hit from the Tapu Lele. Hooper Unbound won't appreciate a Moonblast. Chansey can be quite especially bulky, so it can eat up some hits. Don't know what I can do back besides Seismic Toss it, but you never know. Zygarde's weak to Moonblast and Yveltal's weak to Moonblast, so Tapu Lele needs to be defeated as soon as possible in this game if the hungry big boys have a chance to win the game. Celesteela, I don't see any stab which can hit it. I don't see any stab which can hit it, so it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that. Mega Kangaskhan, there's options there for that. Greninja, he's got Whimsicott and Mega Mewtwo Y if X if it outspeeds and goes for a Drain Punch or something. He's got Dialga, which can be a bulky boy, and he's got Alolan, which can probably his rocks there, I'd imagine, or to deal with the Whimsicott. But it's going to be a very interesting game because I want to see what things go down. So out comes the Greninja versus the Hooper Unbound. It goes for U-turn, just knocked out turn 1. So, yeah. It's a turn 1 knockout. Have we had one so far? I don't think we have. Have we? It's our first. That's our first. That is our first for season number 2. Our turn 1 knockout with a U-turn from a Greninja on Hooper Unbound. What? I don't understand what Bidoof clicked on that turn. What did they click? Because the U-turn... Why would you keep a Hooper in on against a Greninja? That's what I want to know. Unless you're predicting a Scold? Lead Greninja usually run U-turn. Or Spikes. Like, if you're weird and run Spikes Greninja, but... I'm intrigued. Out comes Zygarde versus the Celesteela. Let's go for Protect. It goes for Glare to try and paralyze it. It goes for the Glare to paralyze the Celesteela as it misses its Leech Seed. And Zygarde then goes for 1,000 Arrows, which does 25% to Celesteela. Celesteela is ridiculous. There's the Leech Seed. So Leech Seed damage is about to stack up on Celesteela. Let's go to Protect. I'd imagine, yes. What Celesteela does, it protects and gets Leech Seed Stalk. That's what Celesteela does. That's all it does. There's the paralysis. It goes for 1,000 Arrows to get super protected. It's 49%. Because now Smackdown, it's super effective. It's rather than neutral. So out comes Kanga. Does it go to 1,000 Arrows? Gets a crit that lives on 36%. And Leech Seed damage is still stacking up. So out comes there to Protect. As it goes for Glare to try and paralyze it. But it doesn't do that. It goes to 62%. It goes out to Celesteela to another Glare. Which just goes for straight up 1,000 Arrows to 25%. And Zygarde can potentially he's trying to keep this Zygarde away from being 50%, which it will do this turn, I do believe, with Leech Seed. Will it? Ooh, just about. So you're trying to keep it above the 50% to not make it go into a 100% complete form, but it goes down to 23%. So Power Construct is here, goes back up to 50%. As it goes for Protect, it goes for the 1,000 Arrows to try and stall out those Mega Zygarde turns. Mega Zygarde, complete Zygarde. What am I on about? So it goes down to Greninja as it goes for 1,000 Arrows for 29%. I'm guessing Greninja outspeeds, so it can, and with the Leech Seed damage, you can just do the bounce. So out comes to Chansey. So it goes for the low kick, which does nothing to Chansey, might I add. Does absolutely nothing. So out comes Dialga, predicting a Toxic, I'd imagine. Or you're just going to go straight up Seismic Toss into 24% to Dialga. Out comes Yveltal as it goes for the Stealth Rocks. So yes, there's a defog from the... Why are these legendaries doing hazard removal? Why? There's the Focus Mist. There's the Tropical Berry. So it lives the Focus Mist. Stealth Rocks come back up as he goes into Tapu Lele, picking up a Focus Mist, which he doesn't go for. It goes for the defog. But he needs to switch out because the Moonblast is coming as it goes for Toxic. Okay. Did not see that coming. So out comes Dialga versus the Chansey as it goes for predicting probably another Toxic. But out comes the Yveltal. Goes for that Dark Pulse, knocks out the Dialga. Out comes the Tapu Lele, who's going to have to switch out. There's the Moonblast. And down goes the Yveltal. Out comes the Jetsu into Mega Kanga because goes to the soft boil to try and heal back up as he goes back out into a Ziggurat. There's the Wish from the Mega Kangaskhan, which is very interesting set. But Zygarde lives on 4% as he goes for the 1,000 arrows. Mega Kanga lives on so little health and goes for the Wish. Gets fully filled back up to full health and goes for Frustration. Down goes the Zygarde versus the Mega Kangaskhan. Out comes the Mewtwo as it Mega Evolves into Mewtwo X as it goes for Protect. It goes for Bulk Up. Ooh, good play there as it goes for the Drain Punch. Knocks out the Mega Kanga. Back to full health. Out comes Tapu Lele. He's probably going to die to a Moonblast, which it does. Oh, it lives on 12%. As it goes for Zen Headbutt. It lives just about... I don't know what... He's got Bulk Up, Drain Punch, Zen Headbutt. What's your third move? Maybe that was the hardest hitting Mon. But he goes out into Chansey, trying to wall this thing until it gets a special attack drop. Out comes the Alola Marowak, predicting a Seismic Toss. Double switch out and go to Mega Mewtwo X. He goes out into Greninja, predicting a Zen Headbutt, which it does go for. As he goes back out into Chansey, predicting a low kick or U-turn. Obviously a physical Greninja. U-turns out against the Chansey into the Alola Marowak, which I don't think Chansey can actually touch. So he soft balls back up to full health as he goes for the Flare Blitz. To 61%, gets the burn. Everything's going all badly. There's the soft boil. There's the Flare Blitz. There's the burn. He goes for Minimize because it's evasion shenanigans are happening. It's going to go for the soft boiled. He goes for the Flare Blitz. Lands the Flare Blitz and down goes the Chansey. Out comes Mega Mewtwo Y. He goes for Zen Headbutt. And Alola Warwick is going to clean up here because I don't think Whimsicott can OHKO this thing. So just going to... Unless it goes for Double Team. Lands it anyway. There's the Flare Blitz. Down goes the Whimsicott and the Wellington Arrows pick up that 4-0 victory. And are doing well. I think they won 4-0 in their first game as well. I do so believe. So they're coming on strong this season to try and claim that top spot. Because they unfortunately didn't beat Zombie in the final last season. So they're putting on a good show to try and get up there this season as well. Obviously, Alola Whack, they're probably the lower tiered Mon on the team, putting in the most work against the team. So Ubers don't always have to be the GOATs on the teams. Alola Marowak has proved us all wrong. Alola Marowak can put in the work. So Hot Bone, put in the work this week. Definitely put in the work this week. So now we move on to our last game, where we have the champion of last season, the Black Sea Curiums, who have brought Kyogre, their new picked up Mon they traded from the Grand Prairie Ninjas on the team. They've also got Crobat, Blaziken, McGinn, Salamence, and Mew. Whereas the Victoria Vic teams are rocking Gligar, Arceus Steel, Mega Diancie, Tapu Koko, Boswell, and Necrozma. So very interesting because Kyogre, barring the Kyogre, can actually put in the work this week. It really can. So Kyogre's a scary Mon, but Tapu Koko's here, which can... Tapu Koko's got a good matchup. It can beat this, it can beat Crobat, and it can beat Salamence. So, yay. Boswell can beat... I'm going to say the Mew, but it's weak to Psychic. What am I on about? But Necrozma can beat Blaziken. Gligar can beat Blaziken, and I don't know what can beat Mew. I honestly don't know what beats Mew. And I don't know what beats McGinn, to be quite honest. I really don't. I see McGinn and Kyogre being big problems for the Victoria Vic teams in this game. So let's jump in and see how it goes. So it leads to Gligar, so probably rocks versus the Kyogre. Did we enter Necrozma? I think a Water Spout or something. Yeah, there's the Water Spout. Bye, Necrozma! Oh my god, Necrozma's a bulky boy with freaking Prism Armor or whatever it is. It just dropped. It just went, bye! My god! There's the Tapu Koko. As he switches out into his Mew, as he goes for the Thunderbolt, there's 55% of the Mew gets the paralysis. There's a synchronized, but it's immune because obviously electric type. There's another Thunderbolt kill. Mew lives on 1% this time and gets a fully paralyzed, which is very unfortunate. But Mew is down. It's 5-5 right now. It's very good played. Out comes to make the there's the Kyogre, which outspeeds the Tapu Koko because obviously Choice Scarf. And goes to the Water Spout, and it's gone. And it's gone. There's Arceus Steel. Raid is gone. Out comes the Mega Blaziken as it goes for Z Corkscrew Crash. That's resisted, my dudes. That's resisted, my dudes. There's 2/3 of blades going to go to protect. There's a speed boost on KFC as it bam passes out into the Kyogre, the Sapphire versus Nightwing. As the Kyogre goes for rock polish. There's a Surf. Lives on 2% as it bam passes out into Arceus. Oh, hello. Hello. There's the Surf. There's 45%. There's the Iron Head. Does nothing. Does nothing. There's the Surf. Even at +2, Arceus cannot outspeed the Scarf Kyogre at +1 speed. So out comes Nightwing as he goes for Surf. Down goes the Gligar. And Kyogre's just going to wreck lives right now. Out comes the Buzzwole. There's the Surf. There's the Surf. There's the Drain Punch. 49%. Surf's not going to kill it. So he switches down to Salamence to get the Intimidate drop off and resist the Drain Punch incoming. Which does nothing. Just does nothing. Out comes Mega Diancie predicting a Dragon type move. But Mega Evolves to Mega Salamence to go to return. Which resists because it's obviously Aerolate. It's Aerolate, isn't it? Yeah, it is Aerolate. There's the Earthquake. And down goes Mega Diancie. And a return just kills Mega Buzzwole. What am I about? Both kills Buzzwole, and that is GG to the Black Sea Cums there, picking up a 5-0 victory against the Victoria Victinis. So, Victoria Victinis, who were pushing playoff last season, taking a heavy defeat right now, and the Black Sea Cums, I think, are also undefeated so far this season, and trying to push for their second title in a row. So, very close game. Obviously, MVP in that game definitely Kyogre. That had to be Scarf Kyogre. Scarf Kyogre is going to be an absolute nightmare to freaking kill unless you've got a fast freaking water absorb mon or a fast electric type. You need a bulky water absorb mon. You either need a fast electric type or fast grass type. That's the only way you're killing that thing. That's the only way you're killing a Scarf Kyogre. My god, in the rain. My god. But we move on to the weekly show table, and as you can see, we have 4 coaches undefeated so far in this league. Well, technically 5, because we have the Highlands Heroes coached by Pig, who are first place with 6 points, 8 differential. Black Sea Cums are just behind them with +7, 6 wins, 6 points, sorry. Fifth and North Sparks are just behind them with 4 differential. Boston Typhlosion there with 3 differential, so it's very close there. Then obviously the Chicago Grambles and the Galatasaray have not yet played their game this week. So if that's not played before the end of this week, then that game will be down as a forfeit. If not, it will be included in next week's weekly show. So stay tuned for that if you want any progress on that game. Then we've got the Grand Prairie Ninjas in 6th place with 1-1, 0 differential. So I think that's the same score as all I am right now. So, well, hey. The Cleveland Cavaliers obviously in 7th place with a win and a loss with 3 points, -3 differential. And then we've got the Galatasaray, who obviously only played 1 game in 8th place with 0-2. Then we've got the Sinnoh Starlets in 9th place with 0-3. We've got Honoluluchas in 10th with 0-4. We've got the Victoria Victinis and the Hungry Big Boys both on 0 wins, -6 differential. So it's still open for anyone, really, because it's still early days. There's 9 weeks left. Anything could happen. So this table means nothing at this point until we get to like halfway through, like week 5, week 6. We'll have a rough idea of where teams are fighting for this at this point for season 2. So there's no point looking at this right now. If you're in your orange zone, there's still a chance you can get first. If you're top, you can still a chance you could be last. So anything could happen. So this video has been really short. It's actually been nearly 40 minutes, which I think it's the shortest weekly show we've ever done. But if you guys have enjoyed the Kanto Weekly Show for week number 2 of season 2 of PIDA Division Kanto, make sure you smash the like button down below. Be subscribed if you're not already, because to follow any PIDA content on the channel, because we've got the Kanto Weekly shows, we've got my live show to division games, and we've got many more content which you may guys enjoy. So, and also leave any comments in the comment section down below to make any improvements to the series or anything like that. If you want to know more details or anything else which you find would improve the series and make it better for viewing for you guys, just let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!